Hey guys, we're almost done with natural selection. I'm sure you want to move on, and so do I, to evolution. So we're just going to talk about mutations, and then we'll be nearly done. So in lesson 3.2, you can actually skip parts 1 and 2. I don't want to give you too much. So in part 3, we're talking about mutations, and remember that mutations are a way to introduce new traits into the population. So if I have a population of australopes that only have a fur level of 2, like they don't have too much fur, the only way I can get any of these other levels of fur is with a mutation. It's a way to introduce some variety to your population. So if I make the environment cold, which traits or which levels of fur basically will be adaptive and which levels of fur will be non-adaptive? So do you think that a low level of fur would be good in a cold environment? No, not adaptive. Do you think a high level of fur would be a good adaptation in the cold? Yes. So I don't know exactly how you could put maybe some of these upper ones you think would be adaptive. Are all traits that are introduced by mutations adaptive? Well, you should know the answer to that based on yesterday's reading. The answer is no, because why? Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. It depends. In this case, if I get a mutation that decreases the amount of fur, that would be bad. If I get a mutation that increases the amount of fur, that would be good. Do you think non-adaptive traits can be introduced in a population through mutations? Yes, they can. So now we're actually going to test this in the sim. You're going to open the mode mutations and traits. Basically, we're just testing this exact thing that we were talking about. So we're going to make it as cold as we can. The most important part is to turn on mutations for the australopes. So all the australopes start at a fur level of 2, which is pretty low, but we're going to turn on mutations. So we will get some australopes that have a fur level of 1. Maybe we can keep an eye on the graph, but we should get some increased levels of fur levels from mutation. So let's actually start running this for 50 generations. And let's speed it up. I believe the ones with the red dots have mutations. I wish that would still run if I didn't have to change the screen. But basically, you're going to upload a screenshot about what happened. Actually, let's let that run. We won't let it run all the way. You're supposed to wait till 50, but let's just see. Let me analyze. So yes, actually, the mutations did help. So we're starting to see higher levels of fur because of the mutation. And let's say if 7 mutated, then you could get a level 8. And if 8 mutated, you could get a level 9, possibly. So if you go 50 generations, it should be on the upper end here. How did you know that the traits in the histogram were adaptive? Well, if they go to higher levels, they're adaptive because higher levels of fur are adaptive. They also ask you to look at the histogram from generation 5. So I'm actually going to reset it. Stop it at level 5. Same thing. 1. Maybe I'll 2. Okay, I'm not going to speed it up. 3, 4. I'm going to pause it at level 5. 5. Now I'm going to analyze this. And actually now we see there was a mutation for lower fur, but it probably quickly died out. So how do you know the trait in this shorter time histogram was not adaptive? Well, because the mutation didn't really last. There was a mutation, but it immediately died. So some mutations are non-adaptive. Some are good, some are bad. Some are adaptive, some are non-adaptive. So let's finish up here. Mutations sometimes result in an adaptive trait. Yep, we saw that. Increased levels of fur. Mutations sometimes result in a non-adaptive trait. Yes, that is also true. Because you could have a mutation for a lower level of fur, but it's bad. It's not adaptive. Traits introduced by mutation will always become more common. No. Because if you introduce a low level of fur, it will not become more common. It will immediately die. Sometimes they will become more common, though. So that's it for today. And I think I'll let you know about tomorrow. I think I helped give away some of the answers then, but thank you for watching my video.